Hello everyone, it's Mr. Hunt here again, and this is the next screencast for our pulley system. In this screencast we're going to be learning how to make the piece at the side. So this is the piece at the side. The pulley wheel will go next to it like so. So again, this is very simple modelling, but I'm going to show you how to do it properly so we're getting it absolutely perfect. So I'm going to start off with SketchUp. We're going to start modelling. Always takes ages this bit, I don't know why. But anyway, the main dimensions are, it's 220 long and it's 60 millimeters wide. And then the rest of the dimensions I'll explain to you. So let's create a new one in millimeters. Let's see if this is right. Right, here we go. I've zoomed in, so I've got my template set up in millimeters, and what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do, as always, is put in some measurements. So I'm going to use my measuring tool. I'm going to start on the origin of 0, good place to start. And in this activity, really be aware of the directions. The blue line's going up, the red line's going across, and the green line's going back. And you've got to make sure that when you're drawing a line, it's going the right way, or else you're having no end of problems. So we're going to start drawing our line. So I'm going to start on the origin, drag it out along that red line, and the length is 220. The length going on the green line. So look, I've got the green line. If you're not on the green line, it won't work. It has to be the green line. I've started it off in the right direction, and I know the dimension is 60. So we've now got the beginnings. Red line always 220. Make sure it's exactly right. Boom. And then we've got now our basic design. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's spin it around a little bit. So there we go. So there's our basic shape as it is. Now there's a hole at the top which we're going to draw in. It's halfway, so if we measure halfway, which would be 30, we've got that reference point. We could draw a line across all the way now, 220, so we know, yep, that's in the right place here. And it is 1 centimeter, is it? Yes, it is 1 centimeter from the top. And we'll draw a line across there, and that's where it's going to be, 60 across there. 1 up from this end, 1 centimeter, so that's 10 here. 60 going across, 60 going across there. Now the big holes in the middle, let's just measure my piece of wood here. They are 60, yeah, so 60 coming up from the bottom. So 60 here, so that's 60 across there, that's the middle point here. And then we could measure across 30 going that way. So all I'm doing is I'm really planning out what I'm drawing. I'm going to really plan out exactly what I'm doing before I start, so I know exactly what I'm doing. There's nothing left to chance. I know where everything is, and if I get lost I can pick up a reference point going across, and that will really help me. Okay, so that's going to be 60 there. There we go, and that's got to be 60. I think that line is wrong, so let's do it where it should be. 60 going across, 60 going across there. That's correct, and that one should go across there, 60. There we go. So that one's wrong, so I'm going to delete that. It's not letting me. So there we go. So I planned out where my 4 holes are going to go. Next, I need to draw my holes. So I go do the circle tool, I click on my origin, and the hole is going to be 5 millimeters radius. All these are the same, 5 millimeters radius, 5 millimeter radius, same here, from that center point here, 5 millimeters there, and It's not picking up. Why? Why is it not picking up the center point? Let's draw it again. So make sure you've got a reference point. I didn't have a reference point here, so I'm going to make sure I do have a reference point, which is 30 going across, 30 going across to there. Let's give me a reference point there, and then I can draw my 5mm. There we go. So now I've got my holes in the right place. I'm not sure that is in the right place. Let's do that again, because that doesn't look right to me. Let's draw a reference point coming up from here to the middle, 30. There we go. Then I make sure it's exactly in the right place. Now, if you don't get it in the right place, everything else will be a pain later on. Now, I would draw in, when you start drawing some blue lines going up. You've got to be blue. There we go, straight up. Let's make that 80. That's going to be big enough for me. And then blue line again going up, another 80. So we're just putting these lines in. So we're just putting in a grid line so we know what we're doing and we can pick it up later on. So if we make a mess of something, we can pick it up later on. And I've got to make sure I've got one on the origin as well, going up 80. No, thank you. Don't need a Google search. We need 80 going up here. 80, there we go. So I'm just making a point. I'm just putting every reference point I can. I've got one in the middle, and I'm going to do the same with my midpoints here as well. 80 going up, there we go. 80 from this point going up. Whoops, don't know what happened there. 80 and 80 going up that way. And now we've got everything we need. We've got all the dimensions there, so we can start adding our shapes. So let's go to the rectangle tool, and whoops, that's in the wrong place. Let's make sure we start in the right place, and we're going to go around, and it's going to be 220 by 60, and we're going to pull it up by 10 mil. So it's going to be 10 millimeters coming up, and there we go. We've got our first shape. We know exactly what's going on. We've got all our reference points. We can bang a circle in the right place, etc. So we're looking good. We're looking good. So if you wanted to start drawing now, the other things we could do, we could have everything in the right place. So I'm just going to take rid of the sort of top there, so you can see the holes inside. We can see it's a shape now with holes in all the way through. Okay. So I'll have a go at doing that. The next one will be doing the other parts, the washers and the main parts. So have a go at that, and then I will see you in a while.